Okay, so today is October 1st and we're at 98B. Turn around so I can see what's going on. And we're about to do an uncovering of what we discovered just the other day. So, yeah. 98B Marshall Street, front door. Here's the property. As you can see, there's 100A next door. It's for the Marshall Street Tenants Association. So Carrie's left because of all the stress and everything. Okay, so as you can see, we're entering the property, and in the front door, oh, there's a whatchamacallit here. Leave the door open. Yeah, no, that's not open, but with the light. So there's a base here for one, and there's none anywhere, right? And nobody removed it. The other thing that we're pointing out here as well is there's none mounted on the wall. Let's turn on the lights. There's none mounted on the walls. Vertical mount. There's none on the ceiling. As you can see, there's none on the ceiling. There appears at some point there was one here, but it's not hardwired. Not sure if that's required or not. But there is no rental license in the common area. And the rental license for 100A was granted June 19th. Because they're saying case closed when we were trying to raise issues with 98B, we assume that they granted a rental license for 98B as well. Okay, anyway. So again, no fire. Fire extinguisher. Thanks, Tom. Here's the living room. Again, at one point I believe this might have been used as a bedroom in previous incarnations of this unit. But as you can see, again, even wall mount. Well, I guess I can't take that off because it's behind the door, but I guess we'll take a look behind the door. Confirm that there is not one there. I won't be able to see it, but I can certainly reach because of that. So let's see, is there one there? I'm not sure. Get a good scan there. I don't think there is. Probably not. Anyway, so again, this is a common area of the unit as well. As you can see, there is no rental license as well either. So again, there is no fire anywhere, and I'm pretty sure they're required to have one in the common area. Either way, they're supposed to have one in the hallway at the bottom of the landing. So there was, like I said, that one there for a base. We never saw one though. Here's the kitchen. Oh, I guess that doesn't turn on. Here's the kitchen, and again, you see any fire detectors anywhere? You see any carbon monoxide detectors anywhere? You see any rental license prominently displayed in a common area anywhere? It's hard to see there. How do you turn this light on? Is that over here or something? No, I don't know. Is there one over there? I can see it. Anyway, there's no rental. Denise, is there a rental license in here?
No.
No, there's not anywhere. Okay. So anyway, and is there any fire detectors? No. Any carbon monoxide detectors? No.
Look in the living room, none.
We did. Here's the stairs going up.
Along the walls too.
Again, sorry about the mess, but she's tired. I think she's ready to leave at some point.
Because she's in danger.
Tom died. She just found out that she's not safe for the last 2 years that they've been living here when they said that this is fine. So remember that. This is fine. Municipal information, Freedom of Information and Privacy Protection Act. Where's the light for here? Okay, good. Municipal Freedom of Information and Protection and Privacy Act release shows the documents for this place. The record, how it had not had a proper license. It had not had proper furnace. There were issues with the furnace. And again, this was taken over by a property management. Again, we will go ahead and attach the documents related to 98B, and especially the part where it's misrepresented that this was even close to being capable of passing a fire inspection, especially as these are all supposed to be bedroom units. So from the rules they applied at our place, there's supposed to be a smoke detector inside and outside the door. There is none. There's supposed to be a carbon monoxide detector somewhere in here at the upper level. There is none. Oh, she's got her bedroom locked, right? She's got her bedroom locked right now, but we got it from the other video. I guess I'll have to splice that in.
Yeah, you got it from the other video.
Anyway, this is Austin's room, is it? Or no, this is Tom's room, is it? Yeah, I guess this is Tom's room. Anyway. Or no, this looks like Austin's room. No, this is Austin's room. Right, this is Austin's room. So again, so Austin's room when he stays here. Again, here you have no smoke detector, no fire detector. Austin is a younger gentleman. So excuse the mess. That's just the way they are, I guess. Okay, anyway, enough of that. Not on the wall. And that one's locked, so you can't get in there.
Carrie's room is locked.
Carrie's room is locked. So anyway, that's from the other, we could show that from the other video though. Anyway, it's obviously, there's nothing here. I don't think they need one in the bathroom, but just to show, there is no, and it's common area, so there's no license in here either, as you can see. Anyway. Okay, let's go downstairs. Turn off all the lights. Turn off the light, please. Can I turn off the light in Austin's room? Yeah. Okay.
Alright.
So again, no detectors anywhere on the main floor. So far we've only seen one plastic old, whatever that is, bracket I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. Here is into the kitchen. Again, there's no rental license anywhere in the common area. There is no rental license in the hallway, common area. There is no smoke detector. That is a security camera. Yeah, I guess we don't need to have that on, I guess.
You can see the walls up here.
Well, I mean, we can take a look back up all we want. Anyway, again, she's been clearing this out for Tom and that, but because Tom was here. Oh, look at the electrical. How's that for an electrical pass, eh?
Yeah.
Anyway, how's that for a heating pass? Anyway, doesn't matter, but here's the infamous one. Can you turn on the light for in here? Where's the light for in here? Do you know where?
The light for in here.
That's not the one at the top of the stairs, is it? Okay, anyway, here's the only one that we did find that exists. It's an old battery style. Here's the base. Oh, thank you. It's a kitty. Kitty, and the battery's right there. So there is a battery in it. And what does that say? Test. So yeah, it works for a test.
I did that yesterday.
Replaced by 2025, so that's a good sign. Replaced by 2025, January 2025, or no, it looks like just 2025, right? So it says replaced by 2025. And it was manufactured May 24th, 2013, as you can see from that stamp. Replace once or battery once a year when chirps, or once a year or when chirps occur. So she's got to replace this battery.
Yeah.
But this one, this is fine. This is fine. As far as I know, unless it's supposed to be hardwired.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe.
Well, I don't know. That's up to them to determine. But oops, hang on. I want to make sure I put this. Can you put? Oh, there it is. Okay, so I guess that's up. There it is. But anyway, so far again, and this is a hallway outside of a sleeping area. This was a sleeping area one time. Either way, again, there are no Oh, sorry. Is there another light for in here? No. I guess it's probably back there. There are no. So I'm going to try and get back here without disturbing anything. Is that the light? Yeah, there you go. So again, there are no smoke detectors. There's not even a sign that there was ever one here. Not wall mounted. Dyslexia. Wall mounted.
Okay.
Not wall mounted. Not on the ceiling. And that's a closed door. That door closes. So again, as far as I know, and this
That's the
closes as well. This is the laundry room.
Laundry furnace.
Laundry room. And again, here you go. If this was used as a bedroom at one point, they're supposed to have fire detectors out here and on outside of the door and one inside the door. Anyway, here's the laundry room. And again, it's much more improved since you got rid of those washers and dryers she was storing for whoever that was. Anyway, as you can see, there is no carbon monoxide detector. No carbon monoxide detector. It looks like a forced air gas steam vent system or something like the one that they had at the townhouse, the one thing, because they're venting the two pipes out the back again, which is, I guess, the code. Who knows? I guess Mitch would know if they ever let him come out and inspect these places.
Yeah.
But anyway, the main point of this is that there appears to be no, or little or no, fire code compliance. And sorry, I'm going to switch this way. So little to no fire code compliance. Oh, sorry. Thank you, Carrie, for allowing us to film this, especially when you're in the middle of getting ready to deal with this, I guess. I'll actually leave this open because it's kind of musty. Oh, is my, where's my dehumidifier? Oh, it's under there. Okay, I'll grab it later. Anyway, I loaned her my dehumidifier because it was so musty down here. Anyway, so that's good. Only 12.5 minutes. So, hey, Shane Turner, this place has passed, and everybody else, Mayor Jaworski,
There's no permits on the wall.
Karen Redmond, Premier, Attorney General, Human Rights, anybody who's listening, especially the taxpayer and the landlords that are cooperating with the law. Again, this gentleman here misrepresented the rentals. He's a licensed real estate agent with Real Estate Commission of Ontario, as far as we know. He's supposed to be anyway. He admitted he was licensed in the Landlord-Tenant Board hearing. He is also supposed to be, whether he's aware or not, he's required by law to be aware of what the law is. He obviously hasn't.
Yeah.
Or he's ignoring it outright. That's also proof if he's ignoring outright. Do we turn these lights off? Well, that's sunlight, okay. That's all locked up, good? Okay, let's go. We're good. The key's in the door. Key's in the door. So again, they've been claiming that this property has been fined since 2012 for fire code based on what's been filed, and we've got the municipal enforcement stuff done now. Again, I don't think there was any fire code inspection reports in those releases either. But anyway, it raises a question again if this is all just looking good on paper. It doesn't reflect what really happens. These properties have never been owner occupied, so any changes must have been required to have a permit, which raises money for the city and also make sure that everything's safe. Again, this is a process that they're supposed to be unbiased. Their only requirement is to come here, identify deficiencies, have them corrected, and once it's done, this becomes building code. The landlord appears to have deliberately misrepresented himself on all 4 applications. It appears that the City of Waterloo and the Region of Waterloo Municipal Enforcement is actually participating in denial of our rights. It's like they took our rights, our civil rights, our right to due process, our constitutional right, and our human rights, put them in a box and sold them to this illegally, unlawfully operating shyster in a business arrangement that they have. So it's time to, we have an outstanding order, municipal order that was given June 13th and was supposed to be satisfied by July 15th. It is now 70 plus days outstanding, where they are trying to say that we are the ones who are denying them from doing this work. That we're the ones who are standing in the way of having anything done here. He just doesn't want to spend any money. And the result is that they've denied us our rights, and as I predicted, they're taking steps to have us evicted because we gave them a whole bunch of release of information with regard to this person's direct misrepresentation, including copies of the records that are posted, and they dismissed it all. She said it was an oral hearing because of my disability, and yet she dismissed all the evidence. The landlord, they used my disability against me and all that, so we ended up leaving because there was nothing there to accommodate us at all anyway, and we had been there for too long. And she just kept on going, oh, I think all you need is a 5-minute break. So the fact of the intimidation of the police and all this other stuff, and just the fact that we are not being heard, there's nothing to accommodate. Especially the part where here we are in Canada, and when you go for any kind of benefit because of your disability, they know everything about you, why they are going to deny you that ability. But when it comes to having services rendered, especially representation in court, this is not only attitudinal barrier, this is mostly a policy barrier, and the barrier mostly is they just don't want to get caught because what you don't know about what they are doing won't hurt them. Don't take my word for it, here it is. Anyway, to the powers that be, this is now a criminal complaint by the Marshall Street Tenant Association. And we are requiring a full investigation. This is a criminal complaint against Shane Turner, who appears is arbitrarily giving away these rental licenses like candy, selling it to the highest bidder. There has never been any proof that this landlord was given any kind of fine. We paid our rent and honored every part of our terms of our lease for over 2 years, up until May, when we found out what was going on and we were told it was unlawful to pay rent. We asked for clarification. This landlord and his representative, Tim Ellis from MTS Paralegal Services, deliberately and knowingly put forward a false petition with Landlord-Tenant Board. And we will be showing the evidence that proves that. But the biggest thing is this: the Landlord-Tenant Board just dismisses that which it doesn't want to deal with, and that by which it's responsible for. So this is now a human rights issue because, again, we are not slaves. And you have effectively turned us into slaves because you have dismissed all of our rights, all of our ability to even have due process, when, again, the assessment is about the legal standing of the property. We have not been standing in the way of this at all. We have been protecting our interests because it's adversarial, and
We have a right to
There's
protect
a
our person.
and
be
we have
safe.
been harassed and annoyed deliberately, it appears, by the region. And because municipal enforcement order, once it is given, the only way that it can be satisfied is by being satisfied by being met.
That's right.
And even the city of Waterloo and the region are deliberately not participating because they don't have to. The landlord says that we've been standing in his way. The only thing standing in his way is that on June 13th, the region, Alison Hensall of the Region Municipality of Waterloo Enforcement issued an order to Mr. Theo Papadopoulos and Commissions Worldwide, Inc.
Yes.
On June 19th, they issued the license that was required, that was only supposed to be granted, and it says right in the legislation they are not to grant a license if there is anything outstanding, and yet Shane Turner signed that license.
Yes, you did.
The minute he signed that license, there was, and Alison Hensall mentions it in her inspection interview that is on YouTube. As it's happening, it is required by law that these rental licenses be displayed properly in a prominent area of the house, whether it's a residential home or a tenancy for students. So if you don't have that paper hanging in a common area of your home, of that area,
And you're renting in
and
Waterloo.
you're renting anywhere in Waterloo, and it's not a high rise above, I think it's 3 or 4 floors, then and it's a multi-unit dwelling, then you are definitely probably living in an unlawful rental and another scam just like this one. You need to remember, and this is where the fire chief, and we are asking for a full inspection because, or full investigation of these inspections, because this property passed multiple inspections before 2019
How does that happen?
with only that kind of fire protection.
Yeah.
Because it happens because it's all on paper. They can misrepresent floor plans and fire plans, and they just make a check mark on the paper saying that, oh yeah, it's the code, it's legal.
All the taxpayers' dollars.
Eat up all the taxpayers' dollars. The Waterloo Regional Police are asking for overtime. Well, gee, you could have taken the 3 officers you sent over here to provoke me and used it for something a lot more productive. Because again, why are you antagonistic when we're the ones asking for the help?
Please help.
Because you're trying to victimize us
you're
and make
saying-
us look like we're
and
criminals.
We're supposed to call for help. And
And
that's
they
what we
mock,
get.
they mock everybody. This is an abrupt abuse of taxpayers' dollars. This is abuse of human rights. They are moving to have us evicted
Yes.
arbitrarily without accepting any of our evidence, especially the part where there's an outstanding municipal order of 70 plus days. So
78.
anyway,
It's 78 days.
78 days?
Today.
Okay, anyway.
Yeah, outstanding.
Brian Larkin, Chief of Waterloo Fire, you need to go down to City of Waterloo, and you need to determine whether or not a license was issued for 98B on June 19th or ever
Yeah.
right now, because it doesn't even pass 2012 standard. And yet you've had multiple people living here, rented under multiple entities. Currently now, Commissions Worldwide, which has now turned it over to Atlas Property Group, which is famous for, if you go to their website, the only thing they do is take individual rooms and rent them for $600 a piece,
Yeah. There you go.
or $500 or $600 or whatever they can get for them. In this area, I'm sure they can get at least
Good
7 or
deal.
8. Really good deal. They keep them coming in,
Yeah.
in and out. Nobody minds,
And a
you know.
fire
they're-
hazard.
And what happens here, their region, Karen
Fire
Redmond, what happens when we get us evicted? Because whether we leave or not, that order stands.
Yes, it does.
We are asking for assistance to go before the Superior Court of Justice to have these issues addressed, and especially to have charges of harassment and intimidation and assault levied against this landlord at the very least, and their property management. And right away, no matter what, we are asking the public support to get behind us to demand a full inspection of all these properties by Mitch Brown. Mitch Brown, I think his name is. That's the building inspector for Municipality of Waterloo.
Yes.
Okay, so if you think that you agree with us, then you need to email Mitch, MITCH .Brown, BROWN, at waterloo.on.ca. And you tell them you demand full inspections of all 4 properties of Commissions Worldwide, Inc. And at the very least, the other thing too, please, you need to
vocal.
email Brian Larkin and the fire department and say, WTF, guys,
What's going
how'd
on?
this happen? So, time for the Marshall Street Tenant Association to fight back even more. They think we are here notwithstanding. Well, we are
We're
standing
right here. Let's go.
This election is very important. And Mr. Trudeau and all the candidates, I have one question for you. The Constitution, which they call the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, which they call the Constitution, states that we are required to have security of person. Well, for security of person, you need education, you need financial, you need legal, you need medical, you need whatever. Every single
Security of
point,
person.
security of person, every point for security of person. If this is a democracy and you're not afraid of your own wrongdoing, which this is all just a cover up of what you're not doing, you're playing the middle with a wedge issue, bleeding and exploiting both sides, but especially doing harm and
outright designed an industry around a vulnerable population that is trapped. That the only reference is, even when you go to your politicians, is it's a legal issue, which means you can go to legal aid, and the lawyers that represent the Law Society of Upper Canada, trained and sworn and duty bound, are there to make sure that the Crown pays no price whatsoever. And they are allowed to convert that privilege to somebody like Theo Papadopoulos, Commissions Worldwide, Atlas Property Group, the City of Waterloo, the Region of Waterloo, the Mayor of Waterloo, and whoever else, Shane Turner. So we are asking for a full investigation. The other thing is we are demanding Shane Turner's immediate resignation. We are demanding that Mayor Jaworski, you need to provide answers, and if you do not provide proper answers and cooperate with a full investigation within 24 hours, that we demand your resignation as well. You are responsible, especially because you are also regional representative. And I have one thing to say. Sorry about yelling into the camera. The one thing I have to say is this. This is an example of not just notwithstanding, which is a legal term, exercised at will by the Crown and enshrined in the Constitution, for persons with disabilities. In education, they're singling out autistic children. Why? If the word all means all,
Yeah.
then it should be whole medicine. So the whole person, not parted out, not used as a way to divide.
Go to the doctors, you complain about one thing, and that's all.
You're-
Who's running the show?
The other thing too, you've
Come
got
on.
you've got our disability, and you don't carry a database which is shared amongst your providers, in order to make sure that we don't have to keep going through it every time, because you got to charge those services. Anyway, you exploit both sides. It's time for that to stop. It's time for us to return the favor the Crown is not withstanding. But here's the thing. If you're entitled to all those things for security of person, why are they all done through the tribunal system and not the court system? What are you afraid of? Oh, I forgot. Disabled people who record things as they happen. This is Chris Bacon, the brain injured guy, and
This is Denise Duval, and I'm pissed.
we're done, and so are you. Time's up. This is it. Our claim for human rights is they packaged up our civil rights, our right to due process, our constitutional rights, and our human rights into a package and sold it to the highest bidder, and gave them carte blanche in order to defy the law, because that is the industry they have built around themselves. That is what you're paying the millions of dollars for the regional courthouse. That is what you're paying millions of dollars for the Waterloo Regional Police Services not properly training their officers. And again, this has been testified to in court, documented. And if this isn't proof that they are not properly trained, just wait, I got more videos. Anyway, time for you to come and do an inspection. We are requesting that you come and do an inspection. You will only deal with Marshall Street Tenant Association, because Carrie has had enough. Carrie has taken some time off, and she's left us to take care of this. So anyway, she will be back by the end of the week. But you have been
Unfortunately, Tom's not here
you're
to
on
speak
notice.
because Tom passed away.
And we all have something to say about Tom and what happened with this, but we have been literally under siege for over 72 days. With a simple process that should be just a matter of calling somebody. They come out with their checklist. They say, here's what's not to code, please correct it. When it's done, they go, good, it's to code, now maintain it. But there's an accurate record saying as of that date and that time, that property was to code. There's no misrepresentation allowed, multiply proven multiple times that this landlord just doesn't give a crap, and gee, now we know the reason why. It's his privilege.
Yeah, and the municipal.
The other thing is, we also would like to dedicate this plea to the victims of the Grenfell Tower fire in England. How do you think that happened? Do you think it might be connected somehow to somebody being able to buy carte blanche to sidestep much necessary public health and safety repairs and standards? That's why it's called minimum standard. It is not something you work up to. It's something you start with and then are required by law to maintain.
That's okay. Yeah.
2 years that Carrie and Tom were living in this unit, unprotected. While on paper, look good on paper, just like Walkerton, the water's fine. Go ahead and have a cup. Every court needs a fool. And in this case, don't let the fool be you, because if it is, the yoke is on you. Over and out. We expect a full response from the powers that be. And if it's RCMP that's required to investigate the Waterloo Regional Police and Waterloo Regional Municipality enforcement and all that, then we are requesting that under Accessibility Ontarians with Disabilities Act verbally in this video presentation. We are asking for it under all human rights and also under the Criminal Code of Canada. But we are asking for the proper protocol to be, for as far as contact to be respected.
Yes.
And if you have any problem with that, ask Constable Volkanoff from the Waterloo Regional Police Services. We were involved in a criminal investigation with regard to the coroner and the way that John Thomas Lichty was retired, you would say. He was deceased at St. Mary's Hospital. Because of issues around that, we were involved in a criminal investigation where I was able to attend at Waterloo Regional Police Headquarters with Denise and Carrie Mills. We had the proper supports available, and we were there for 2-3 hours having quite the cordial conversation, and we had a proper contact, respectful and everything, as required and as designed, and as obviously trained for because it was implemented then. We requested that again. And yet they keep coming over with officers in uniform, provoking my PTSD, because this is an adversarial situation, and they are the ones who are trying to protect the guilty. Anyway, please help. And at the very least, you need to go around and make sure that your unit is lawful. They must have a valid license. It must be posted in a common area that you share. It must not be taken down. It looks a lot like it's held in the same way as a occupancy license for a hotel. So they have to have it behind the register or whatever. In this case, it said that it only has to be in a common area, and they expire every March 31st of every year. So if there's not a new one up there before March 31st, chances are you got caught in another scam just like this. Waterloo, City of Waterloo, Regional Waterloo rental license scam and built-in industry. Support your local government, will you? Anyway, please be safe out there. This is ridiculous, and again, they should not be able to use my disability against me or do any of this to any of us. We're the only ones who have been acting lawfully. Thank you.